People who own multiple pets, what is some drama going on between them right now? Dog 1 is trying to trick Dog 2 into following her into the garden so that Dog 1 can then storm back indoors to take Dog 2's bone she is enjoying. Dog 3 is sitting on the couch quietly waiting for this to happen, to be the actual winner of this scheme. I occasionally watch my friend's 2 dogs, a Pyrenees and a Border Collie mix, at my place and with my own dog. The Pyrenees acts dumb but is actually way more crafty than the other 2, the boys. If either of them are taking up a spot she wants, like her favorite spot on the couch or the sunny spot by the front door, she'll walk over to a window and start growling and barking at nothing until the boys come over to see what's up. Then she saunters over to the now open spot and leaves the other 2 still barking and confused. Yes. When my baby girl got old she would lay on the couch and when she heard someone pass by she'd give a low growl to get other dogs worked up and barking like crazy at the windows. She was too tired to do it, but someone had to bark at everyone walking by the house, and she watched them get yelled at. When my dog went blind she went from sitting at the window watching to sitting on the couch. The cat would sit at the window and run and get her when it was time to bark. Aw, they tag team. That's so cute. I don't anymore, but I once had both a cat and a guinea pig some 25 years ago and they seemed to hate each other. Whenever my cat got near the cage the guinea pig would start squealing aggressively at the cat and the cat would swat at the cage while sporting a look of utter disgust. That was a daily routine. It was the first thing that happened in the morning and it lasted a minute, then they didn't bother each other for the rest of the day and the cat could even nap on top of the cage at times without any protest for either. It was just part of the day for them. That drama just had to happen every day. That went on like that for 7 years. The guinea pig got really sick because he was old and I realized he doesn't have long left. I picked him up out of the cage and put him on my lap so he didn't have to die alone. The ducking cat came up and licked the guinea pig and laid on my lap beside him until he passed. Apparently the cat loved him all along. The 7-year drama was just their thing. That still amazes me. Dear Diary, it has been 152 days since the human has brought home a large rodent. I assume it is intended to be a meal in the future, but the human perplexes me by continuing to feed the rodent and keeping it alive in a small cage. Meanwhile the human still feeds me small pellets. I have repeatedly tried to draw attention to the perfectly adequate meal at the tip of my paw, but the human seems to be either deaf, stupid, or just cruel. There is no logic in this place. My roommate has 2 large male dogs and I have a small female dog. My roommate's male dogs like to roughhouse and play around sometimes. Whenever they get too loud my little dog will raise her head and growl ever so slightly. Just enough for them to hear her. As soon as she does, they stop for a minute and start playing quieter. Ducking surreal to see. I had a female Chihuahua mix who was like that. We used to call her the fun police at the park, because any time dogs would start roughhousing a little too much, she'd run over and get in the middle of it and the other dogs would just stop. She was like 9 pounds. My mom had a Chihuahua mix that behaved like this. We also called her the fun police. I have a cat, a puppy and a dog. Cat likes to lure the puppy under the bed and he can get under but gets stuck in the middle where it's the lowest. I have to rescue him, usually around 2 a.m. and he wakes me up by scratching the floor trying to get out. Cat also likes to knock off things from the counter he knows puppy should not be chewing on. Puppy and cat like to wrestle with each other. But dog doesn't like the ruckus and barks at them to stop. Cat doesn't like the barking so then he chases dog. Puppy follows cat and there's a train of 3 Tom and Jerry style through the house. At the end of the day though they are always in a big cuddle pile so I think they'll be okay. Puppy follows cat and there's a train of 3 Tom and Jerry style through the house. I hope your house has a hallway full of doors so that they can constantly run through one and come out of a different one. The dog doesn't like when the cat gives him dirty looks. The cat knows this, will deliberately stare him down, and then expertly leap out of the way when he goes to chase her. Our dog is very stupid and cannot stand when the cat stares at him. We have a baby gate to keep the dogs away from the cat's food and litter, and the cat will sit behind the baby gate, tail swishing, and bore holes into him. He loses his goddamn mind. As a kid we had a dog on an invisible fence, and a pair of outdoor cats. The cats memorized the entire boundary of the fence, and would spend all day sunning themselves inches beyond the dog's reach as she stared and vibrated with tension. After many years of this, I was coming home from a walk with the dog and she managed to slip her collar, then sprinted at one of the cats from outside the fence. Cat tensed up preparing for a fight. Dog realized cat wasn't running, skidded to a halt in front of her, sniffed her for a few seconds, barked once in her face, then proudly trotted back to me, life's goal accomplished. I saw a GIF recently of two dogs barking through a gate at each other. When the gate would open, they would pause. Once closed, the dogs would bark again. A commenter explained that the dogs aren't necessarily barking because they're aggressive towards each other, they are barking because they are frustrated by the barrier, and dogs don't have as many outlets for frustrations like humans do. Not sure on the validity of that, but the dude seemed like he knew what he was talking. Could be fun to look into. I think that makes complete sense. Our dog knows the limits of where she can go when she's out front with one of us and not on a leash. She's allowed to the end of the driveway or anywhere on the lawn, but not onto the sidewalk. She goes absolutely insane when someone walks their dog on the sidewalk, because she can't actually get to the other dog. If I ask permission of the other person, and walk down onto the sidewalk and invite her to join me, she's immediately a black bundle of joyous yips at encountering a new friend, but if not, she is just a raging storm of furious barking. Hilarious side note: she knows where she's allowed, and she decided long ago that little humans, especially the girls next door whom she adores, also should not be on the sidewalk. She a Borador, so half Labrador, half Border Collie, and her herding instinct kicks in and she'll go herd them back from the sidewalk. It was especially amusing when the younger one was learning to walk. No matter which way she went to try and get around the dog was there first, blocking her way. She just moved back and forth and herd the baby back to the safe zone, and then sit down to watch her and do it all again if baby decided to try for the sweet wet puddles in the gutter. My neighbor and I would sit and talk and try not to giggle so we wouldn't draw their attention. We didn't want the show to end. 2 cats. I opened the window for the first time this year since the weather is finally nice. They have been pushing each other away for the best spot to smell the air. Same. One open window in the house, in my office next to my desk. My 2 girls usually share really well, but the window has been causing squabbles. Edit, photo evidence, Imgur.com. Aw, that annoyed look on Kitty's face. The lion, the witch, and the audacity of this bitch. We got a puppy 2 weeks ago. Our elderly cat is furious when we do dog training sessions because cat deserves the treats instead. We end up doing joint training sessions and the cat is actually much more consistent than puppy. Edited to add pet tax. In my house, if a package crinkles, it must be treats. And if there are treats, they must be for kitty and puppy, but kitty first. Kitty first. We made the crinkle mistake for far too long. Change to a tub or jar, just pour the packets in. Saves you getting hassled when you just want to damn them in peace. My cat caught on almost immediately. He taught the dog. Anything being opened is subject to demands from the peanut gallery. Lol. Ha! Clever little feckers. My pair took a week before they lost interest in crinkle sounds, but anything vaguely pop sounding has the ears twitching. Discovered my AirPods charging box makes nearly the same sound. Look of disappointment when I put them in. In college, we lived in the 2nd floor and would leave the sliding glass door open with the screen door shut on nice days. Would often come home to find my dog stuck on the balcony. We figured out that my roommate's cat was opening the screen door to let the dog out and then closing the door. Look doggo, the door is open. Go smell all the smells. I am your friend. I help. Close his door, ha ha ha, victory is mine, droll face. Now I can slumber in peace. We also caught the cat knocking napkins and mail off the counter for the dog to chew. We thought she was knocking it off herself until we caught the helpful cat providing her goods. I think the cat enjoyed us scolding the dog. The dachshund will not stop invading the beagle's personal space, crate, to suck on her ears. The beagle has had it and wants it to stop. 2 things though. 1. Beagles have a really hard time being stern and intimidating too. Dachshunds are not easily intimidated, so this morning we had 40 minutes of beagle growling, not very convincing sounding, and dachshund sass, barking back, ending up as usual with an annoyed beagle with soggy ears. It's hopeless. Edit, here they are.